Hi guys, welcome back to CountyLine Farming. Today is December 30th. Been staying busy doing some odd jobs, doing lots of scraping and bedding since the weather's been bad. Just got done with 9 and 10. Got a load of hay coming in about a half hour. So if you guys weren't around last winter, I usually only talk about barn work and bedding cattle, hauling manure, that kind of stuff, mostly in the winter time, since we don't have as much field work going on. In the summer, I mainly focus on the field work. That way we're not overlapping and doing the same thing in the winter also. Most of the cattle are at the home farm. We have some cattle at another farm right up the road, and then we keep our beef cattle at a third farm. Cattle typically get fed about 6-7 a.m. every morning, and then again at night about 5 or 6 p.m. at night. So right now we have corn silage in a bag, we got triticale in a bag, we have first cutting silage in a bag, and we also have sedan grass in a bag. All those are 10-foot ag bags here at the home farm, and then up at the second heifer farm we have a 12-foot ag bag of triticale, and then a silo of corn silage we're feeding out of. The third heifer farm where the beef cattle are, just got done scraping the free stalls. We'll have to bed up pen 5 this afternoon also once we unload this hay. Third farm there, they get a bale, 3x4 bale of hay. That's where this hay is gonna go. Concrete that we tore out over here, those were mostly the chunks that they were already in. This concrete has been here for at least 30 years. It was here before Dad bought the farm in 1996. This piece here, we tore a little bit out. This we poured like the early 2000s, but then this over was poured earlier. So yeah, nice and hard already. But we did have a few escapees last night. Let's just say the whole entire pen 9 got out. There was no human error involved. Yeah, so got a few small hoof prints, but nothing bad. So got this nice and level. This is where we mix feed right here. A lot of traffic through here, so that's why we redid all of that. Coming in the shop here, still got the corn head on the chopper tore apart. Got our mower cleaned up, got to get it serviced. Our old mower is getting sold, got it sold. That's right there. Got it running again. Got my planter in here that I bought with my dad. It's all cleaned up, just about ready to go for next spring. Just got to get a couple little things fixed on it. John Deere 260s in here off of summer duty, loading silage all summer. L220 took its spot for the winter, typically what we do, since it doesn't have a cab. It needs serviced. 2520, still working on wiring harness. Got the 4050 in here, got it all washed up last week. Been cleaning a lot of cabs out on tractors and washing tractors in the last week or so, trying to get things a little bit more presentable, I guess you could say. 4240, 4430 number 1 were completely serviced, pressure washed, inside was clean. Only thing we didn't do to 4430 number 3, which is the bagger tractor, we did not pressure wash the outside, but other than that, clean the inside of the cab, even though it's not the end of the world. It was kind of a mess. Did that, washed skid loaders, stuff like that. But this is the raking tractor we bought last year, still looking very nice. Got a few filters and whatnot to get changed on it. Did get this new faceplate put on this skid loader. Don't know if I mentioned that to you guys, but that was wore out. Had to get that put on about 2 weeks ago now. So this tractor's in here. That one also has a few small things to get done to it. And the 4630 is just in here to hook up to the planter monitor when we get around to getting that done. So that's kind of where we are, working on things, doing all the maintenance for the winter. A lot of our bigger tractors get 200-300 hours a year put on them every year. And then the mixer tractor gets a lot more than that. But anyways, that's where we're at, working on things here in the shop, trying to get you guys updated on where we're at. Don't film every day because it gets super boring, because a lot of the stuff gets repeated every 3 days in the barn, scraping and whatnot. But just show you a few things here and there. And yeah, didn't film any pressure washing, but got the planter nice and cleaned up for the winter. Cleaned up in between all these wheels. There's mud caked in there. Didn't do the best of job. Still a few little spots, but a lot better than it was. Got the seat all cleaned out. Good stuff like that. Another thing we did in the last 2 weeks is got all the machinery around and very neatly got it in the shed so everything will fit. All the wagons, combine, all the tractors that we have. This is a tractor we're gonna put on that bale wagon. Unhook the manure spreader real quick since these other ones are nice and clean. No reason to get them dirty, just for 2 hours of work. Truck just got here. They brought just his truck instead of semi-truck since the weather's kind of bad and we didn't need 50 bales this time. So get these unloaded and put on the other trailer. So this is first cutting hay that we bought. South of here, about 2 hours is where it came from. You can see like this bale, the difference. This one got rained on a little bit, but it's for beef cattle. You don't want super good quality, especially second cutting. Just be wasting money. That's more for dairy cattle. They're a little more picky. This is a bale we have left from last year. We're gonna get it used up first. That'll be going in the feeder tonight. So this should was there 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So there's enough here to last us for about a month and a half down there. Today is Tuesday, another day here at the farm. About 3 o'clock now, just got a load of sawdust rolling in. Got quite a few cattle to bed up and everyone needs fed twice a day, so let's get at it. So the sawdust truck is currently unloading. Down on the cement pad, we got the manure spreader staged, ready to load. Gonna get this scraped up first. These both sides here on the big barn typically get scraped and bedded about every 5 days with the weather we have right now. This side has smaller cattle, so don't go through quite as much bedding as bigger cattle. Especially with bad weather, you go through a lot more. We just got done cleaning out all of our manure. Just got cleaned out about 2 weeks ago. We got all the manure out. Didn't film any of that, but I think we hauled a little over 100 loads in a 5-day period when the ground was froze. So we got the LS 170 up here. We're gonna scrape this out and then we'll bring the 4430 and 8124 back it in, shoot a load and a half of sawdust out on each side, and then we'll have 4 more pens that will bed with the skid loader down there to bed up with. So here's the 8500 hour LS 170. Got this skid loader, my skid loader, both tractors and spreaders cleaned up the other day before it got super muddy. And since with one manure spreader we don't use majority of the time, so we're gonna scrape it all out. Just piling it in a little pile right there since there's not that much. Lots of mud right now, especially at the ag bag. Let's get her cleaned out. Now this back here does dip down just a little bit, and then we'll just bed consistently with either straw or sawdust, and it'll build up over time, and then we'll go in and clean it out. We also recently, in the last couple months, installed these new Steinway gates in this barn. So now this barn is completely full of Steinway gates. Have these quick latches here, so you don't have to put 2 chains on them all. So sawdust truck just left. We'll walk down to where the manure spreader's staged, and the L220's down there. We'll use it to load up. Got a cab on, and you don't have to worry about spilling any, but got the big bucket on there so we can load that up in no time. So the semi comes in here and dumps their load every Tuesday. Typically it's a little bit earlier than this, but today was a little bit later. So this stuff was actually stored, the guy was telling me, so it's might be even a little bit drier than normal. You could see it a little dusty here, but skid loader stays nice and dirty when it's nice and muddy out. So we'll go ahead, get this loaded up here. This rig's relatively clean. We do have 4430 number 1 on here. As you may have seen in the previous video, the other one basically blew up. Crankshaft put a hole through the block right there, and you can see into the engine. Let's get her loaded out. Stay while we're scraping and bedding in there. So you will have to go back and forth a couple times just because the tractor is not geared quite low enough to get the whole spreader emptied in one pass. So you have to back up here to the corner, make a little bit of a pile, and then bring the skid loader in and finish up this corner. But for the most part, it works darn good. So put it in the lowest gear, give her a little bit of throttle. There's a little flap on the spreader to control how far up and how far it shoots. So you got to control that so it doesn't shoot too far or not far enough here. You can move the flap with the lever, go up and down. Just go up and down the barn here a couple times and we'll be empty. Went ahead, got the next load loaded up. Go ahead, put this garage door here down since it's gonna be cold here next few days. Got it all bedded. Go ahead, let the cattle in then. So I'll go ahead and repeat that process one more time to do the other side here. Got the beef cattle and smallest Jerseys and Holsteins in this barn, in this pen, and then 88 pregnants in the pen above this. Got that other side in the big barn bedded up. Just need to walk back up, let the cattle in, and then bring that loader back down and start bedding up the pens here. Got the manure spreader back in the shop. Won't need this until probably tomorrow or the next day. Got the gator cleaned up a while back, just haven't been using it right now. Not a lot of need for it. Grain drill, still getting some warranty work done. They got started on that. Still got the 2520 in the car in here. Need to get the lawnmower ready to go for spring sometime. Dad's been working on the chopper pretty heavily, doing some things to it. Finally got it to start correctly, putting lights on it. Just did some maintenance on it yesterday. Oils, fuels. I think he's just about wrapped up with that. Looks like he's doing a little greasing here today on it. But getting this beast ready to roll. We do have we have the same amount of forage to chop in the spring this year. as we did last year. The only difference is we're gonna have a chopper this year. Last year we did not have a chopper, so probably be the most we've ever chopped if we have a super good crop like last year. If it's just mediocre, we pushed it this hard but 200 acres of triticale and 150 of hay will be plenty for it. Keep it busy in the spring. Class 820, so getting up there on the hours. And then later in the week I need to rebuild this here bucket. So the bucket we use to scrape the freestalls typically always stays on the one skid loader. Best part about this bucket is it's low, and I can clean out along the bunks in the big barn so we don't have to shovel it. Otherwise you hit all the chains on the post there. So got started cleaning up the corners here. Got some angle I need to put in there, but yeah. And then need to do the bottom here. You can see there's a hole in it. I actually bought that bucket when we bought our John Deere 260 Series 2. That was the bucket that came on. The skid loader, that was back probably 8-10 years ago now when we bought that skid loader, and that bucket was used then. So we've got some good use out of that bucket there. So Dad typically works in the shop for the majority of the afternoon, usually in the morning. A lot of the time he's got some cattle to move around. Go ahead and flip these lights on. Getting a bit dark, probably 5 o'clock now. We'll come back, and I did put some silage in to keep these guys, the calves, contained for a bit here. But go ahead and go ahead and these are the pens here we need to get bedded up. Not sure if we need to bed the calves. We'll go ahead and check that out. Yeah, it looks like they'll be needing bedded, especially with the cows. I like to keep them bedded, try not to have any crap on them. As you can see up in that barn, that clip I showed you, cattle up there are relatively clean. Some of these down here have a little bit more on them. Nothing huge. Helps keep diseases and just the general health of the animal, trying to keep them bedded up. It's kind of a battle with pen pack versus if you had a freestall barn. Got a little bit of manure here to clean out yet, but you can see the bags up in there. It's real muddy right now, but we're going through a decent amount of feed, nothing crazy. We might end up taking a little bit up to the other farm in the spring if we're going to be running close, but that's fine. We'll have plenty here so we can start chopping up there if we need to. So let's go ahead and get these cattle moved, and I'll get back with you. Got pens 1 and 2 here all bedded up. Next we'll do 3 and 4. All right guys, so it is the next day now. Put the camera down after it got dark last night since you guys can't see much. Today is Wednesday, January 31st, excuse me. So bedded 3, 4, fed calves last night after I let you guys go. Got done around 7 or so. Had a dead battery first thing this morning. That took about 45 minutes, so then we finally got started around 4. Bedding cattle again. Bedded up pen 5. And then we went on ahead, scraped the freestalls here, packed it up, headed up to the second heifer farm, scraped, and while I scraped, put the feed in. The feed is done right about the same time I'm done scraping. Takes about 45 minutes to scrape and feed up there. Not too bad, so we did that. Came back, mixed up the first batch of feed for Dad here at the home farm, fed the calves once again, put the pellets out for the breeder, and went to school. On the way, fed the cattle at the third heifer farm there. We're back now. It's a little before 3 o'clock. Got a new group of cattle in. I'll go ahead and show you those, I guess. 31 head in today. Have cattle going out every other week, and then they bring us a group at the end of every month. Keep them circulating. Had those come in we're gonna feed the calves here again, mix up the first batch of feed, mix up 2 batches of feed twice a day here at the home farm. There's a new group of cattle. Look just a little bit dirty, not too bad though. Looks like the size is relatively similar. Sometimes we'll get some that are all over the place, so that's kind of hard to keep them consistent, but we'll hop in the 220, we'll go push up feed, try to push up the feed at least twice a day, so it doesn't go bad there in front. Up in the big barn, need to bed up pen 3 again. That pen needs bedded every single day just because of how many pregnant heifers are in that pen. So we'll get done mixing feed here. We'll go up to the second heifer farm there again and feed again. Don't need a Just finished up feeding up here at the second heifer farm. This is the manure that we scraped up this morning. It's about 4:30 right now. Just got them fed for the second time today. Got the John Deere 318G up here. It's our nicest loader. Newest, same year, just has less hours. Feed mixes in here. We got corn silage and triticale is all we feed these guys. Since they're pregnant, they need energy and not fat, so they're all eating right now. We'll go ahead, head home, and finish up there for the night, and we should be done here by 5:30, 6 o'clock. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of today's video. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Also check out the Instagram at CountyLine Farming. Thanks for watching.